Viewer discretion is advised.
What up, Heel Faction? Welcome back to Heel Shit. Why do we call it that? Because bad guys do heel shit. I'm Dark Cordz, that's Draven Grimes. We've got the top 5 women's wrestlers of all time set up for y'all today. We also got couple other things to talk about, but we'll get into all that in just a minute. Hey man, how you doing?
Oh, I'm good. Oh, just getting ready for the work week ahead and the holidays coming up this weekend.
Yep.
To everybody out there, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. There's like 2 or 3 other thousand fucking holidays between now and next weekend.
Absolutely, there are. I'm just testing out all the kick stuff.
Yeah. So how are you feeling? I know you've been kind of under the weather here the past couple days.
Yeah, it's been kind of shitty. We've this virus or flu or whatever it is been tear-assing through the house. I'm the last to get it, as is the case most of the time. But yeah, past couple of days it's been whipping my ass.
Now, to be fair, to be 100% fair, I've told you multiple times over the past 2-3 days that if you needed anything, that I'd be there. I even got to the point where I made you cheesy potato bacon soup, and you declined it, and it was delicious. And now I have like 6 bags worth in my freezer because you declined this.
Hey, don't say
this,
that.
This gesture of goodwill from your Irish wet dream.
That's right. Hold on. Oh shit, hold on. What? Wait, what?
I've got to get some lotion on this new tap.
I don't know what the hell just happened.
What?
Hold on a second. Something's messed up on my thing here.
Which thing? The business screen, the pleasure screen, or the porn screen?
Yes.
Ah, shit.
Yes.
So, real quick, while you're getting that up real quick, kind of want to hit this off at the top of the show. Our Streamlabs merch site is up and active, ladies and gentlemen. And not only now do you get just HSP stuff, you get TFK stuff. You got the OG stuff. We got a recently released new t-shirt, hoodies, hats. I think I've covered just about everything. All at a decent, affordable price. Like, it's pretty much at cost. Like, we're almost getting no financials from it. So hit it up. Dark will have it in here. He'll have it around us somewhere, probably in the stream chat somewhere. Hit it up. Get your merch. Represent the brand, not just HSP, but also TFK.
Absolutely. I don't know what the hell's going on, but
which one's being a dildo?
It's this third-party app I'm trying to get going.
Always playing with the new stuff.
Trying to. God damn it. Why?
So can you talk and click at the same time?
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. It's just gonna be what it's gonna be, I guess. Fuck.
It usually is. That's how this shit works.
Usually. Yeah. So do you want to start off with our revelation about Mercer?
That's actually what I was going to bring up if you were still going to be clicking and pointing and typing and flicking off people.
Yeah, yeah.
So, for those of you that don't know, there's a worker on the independent scene, and I use the word independent scene loosely because that motherfucker needs to be signed. The motherfucker's name is Shane Mercer, and he is a fucking genetic freak. Like, I know Scott Steiner was called that back in the late 90s, early 2000s and shit like that. And then you think genetic freak, you're thinking guys like Brian Cage, which, mind you, this guy puts Brian Cage to fucking shame.
Right.
Fucking shame, dude. But this guy is so fucking talented. He's so charismatic. He has everything that would not only be a Vince guy, but could be a Tony guy. It could be a fucking TNA guy, a New Japan guy. Like, unless it's like him voluntarily not wanting to get signed by any big promotion, what the fuck is stopping him from getting fucking signed?
I honestly don't know. I mean, he, like you said, he's an absolute monster. Yeah, no, he's an absolute monster. He's probably I mean, he's a gigantic guy, but he's still pound for pound one of the strongest dudes that I've seen in the game. He's an absolute behemoth. You know, his moveset is dope. It's not like he's just a big, lumbering, clumsy guy. His moveset is intricate. His moves, I mean, he's outstanding. He's a giant guy. I don't know why Vince and H haven't swooped in to try to grab that dude. Like, he is a body guy. Like, he would be a Vince kind of guy.
It's like if you took the physique of a 2005 Batista with the athleticism of a prime Shelton Benjamin and the charisma of a young Y2J and just merge them all together, make this bastard child of just biblical proportions. Like, I don't understand why not only is he not signed, why is he not main eventing fucking AEW? Why is he not main eventing fucking Raw, SmackDown, NXT, fucking Ring of Honor, TNA? Dude, could you imagine him starting on a contract in TNA, build himself up, and then go to one of the two big companies?
Yep.
I mean, for God's sakes, dude, the dude's a fucking beast, and I encourage everyone, get on your Google machines, look up Shane Mercer, watch a few of his things, even if it's just highlight reels. Like, he has this one move. It's called the assault and battery.
Moonsault and battery.
Moonsault and battery.
Moonsault and battery, yeah.
Where he basically military presses a motherfucker on the second row, grabs him, and does a fucking moonsault fall-away slam. He did this to, what the fuck is that goddamn dude's name? He worked TNA in like 15, 16. He was like Wish.com version of Umaga. Can't remember his fucking name. Congo Kong. Congo Kong. He hit that big old 350-pound bastard with it. And I sent it to you yesterday, first time I ever saw that shit. He hit that bitch flawlessly. I don't get it. Like, sign this motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, if we had a wrestling promotion, we would build the entire promotion around the son of a bitch.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Damn.
Yeah, Shane, if you're listening to this, man, we'd love to have you on. I'm gonna reach out to you after this show. But yeah, no, we definitely need to get you on because the world needs to know about this dude, and he's he's big at GCW, but that's not gonna get you anywhere. I mean, that's not.
GCW today is what CZW was in the early 2000s.
Right.
Like, you can be good with that little clique of fans, but you're not going to get past that clique of fans unless you move on and evolve past what that is.
Right. I agree 100%. Let me see here. So yeah. So we're going to get into the top 5 women's wrestlers. I want to take a break, listen to an ad from Castel Vodka before we do, so I can kind of get past all that technical shit I was just dealing with, and we can get into the countdown. We'll be right back.
Vodka evolved. Castel. Indulge in the red revolution.
Thank you, Castel Vodka, for sponsoring the podcast. So,
Why are you listening to Christmas carols at 8 o'clock at night? Why?
for God's sake, why?
I can't. I fucking can't. I can't, dude. Oh, send help. If I start hearing Mariah Carey, this show's over. I'm going to go outside and I'm going to throw myself off the balcony. Luckily, I'm on the first floor, so I ain't moving far.
Fucking Christmas carols, dog. I can't do it.
I'm not the biggest fan of Christmas carols. Like, I go on YouTube and I find like the parodies of them, like heavy metal versions that like fuck with them. Like, I'll listen to those. I'm still the biggest fan, but I'm just not a big Christmas guy.
Really?
Never have been. Like, it's just another day to me.
That's interesting. Well, I have a very odd, I don't know how odd it is, but I've experienced lots of years celebrating multiple religions' holidays.
Oh, do tell.
Well, I grew up Baptist, I guess. I don't know. We never went to church, but I grew up Christian. We are now, my family is now a different religion, and personally, I'm now pretty much an atheist. So I've been around the gamut a couple times. But
fair enough.
Yeah, so holidays are fun. They're fun, you know. It is what it is.
My favorite holidays are the ones that include a lot of food. So I guess Turkey Day would probably be like number one, but I don't know. I'm just not a real big holiday person. Like, to me, it's just another day.
No, that's cool.
But the fucking day the McRib returns to McDonald's every year, that I celebrate.
That's your big one, huh? That's
4 McRibs deep every time.
4 McRibs deep.
That's right. Tell them.
McRibs deep, all the way to the bun.
All the way to the bun. Oh, what the hell are we doing? I thought we were going to talk about women today.
Top 5 women's wrestlers. Yes, absolutely. So, how my strategy was when I was doing this was, obviously they all have to be amazing workers, but I don't think that alone makes you great. So for me, not only are they all amazing workers, but they all help progress women's wrestling from where they were to, you know, they were like the first, and then it was cool after that, you know.
Mine so much didn't really fall on how good a worker you were. Now, although everyone on here, you could argue is some of the best of all time.
Yep.
But mine is, what did you do to progress the business? What did you do to leave your mark on the business? Some good, some bad.
Right.
I will say there's 2 entries on mine that are ties. I couldn't just pick one. And for obvious reasons, once we get to them, you'll be like, yeah, I see what you did there.
I have 1 tie also. But you're not going to see... You're not going to see, like, names that most people would pick for mine, though. You're not going to see a Fabulous Moolah. You're not going to see Charlotte Flair. You know, there's some big names that probably would be on other people's top 5s that are not on mine. So we'll just have to see how it progresses. So why don't you kick us off? What's your number 5?
Santina Morella.
Nice. Nice. She was
had to.
partial to John Cena, I think. She liked John Cena.
I had to. It was that, or I was going to say the lesbians. I had to pick one of them.
Masha Slamovich slamming.
Oh, okay. For real.
For real,
My
though.
number, my number 5 is Alundra Blaze / Medusa, depending on which company you knew her from.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the early to mid 90s, women's wrestling was pretty much fucking dead, right? Like, she was the WWF Women's Champion, and she defended it and shit. But what's the one thing she did to cement her legacy?
She is on my list, so I know what you're talking about. But she dropped the title in the trash can in WCW.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So at any point in time, you think of women's wrestling, she automatically comes up. And the fact that all these years later, the whole never say never thing is fucking legitimate. I mean, the most recent thing is CM Punk, obviously.
Yeah.
But the fact that not only did she make amends with the WWE, but she's now in their Hall of Fame. I mean, it's hard to argue that she did not, make her mark on this business. And like I said before, some good, some bad. It just depends on where you were on that fence. Like, if you were a WWF person, you saw that as shitting on the business. If you was a WCW person, you're like, fuck yeah, we got the women's champion. And they just basically said that title won't mean shit.
Yep.
So that's my number 5.
All right. So, 5 through 2 are Jordan Grace, and then no, I'm kidding. Number 5.
5 through 2 is Bailey's ass, and then number 1 is Jordan Grace. Okay,
No.
we know.
Yes,
we already know.
Number 5. This young lady came at a time where we had only seen Barbie dolls wrestling for the past 10 years at the time. This girl not only brought a different look, but legit ring skills. Talking about Paige, all right? The anti-diva. She comes in at the perfect time.
Boy, does she ever come.
She comes in when Michelle McCool and all these cheerleader / diva. She was the anti-diva. She comes in, goth look, black hair, just skipping down to the ring, wins the title on her first night.
Actually, the first person ever hold the first person actually ever hold the Divas Championship and the NXT Women's Championship.
Yep. Came in. She was in her early 20s, but already almost a 10-year veteran. Had been wrestling in the English circuit since she was 13. Comes from the family background. Great worker. At the time, well, I don't know. She was hot.
Was. Good sir, I need you to turn on AEW Dynamite every Wednesday night and go look up this bitch called Saraya.
Oh, I know who she is very well. She devolved, yes.
That is her house.
Yeah, but that ain't the same girl who keeps that house. She looks mighty different these days.
I mean, I'm not against it. But you know my favorite match she had from her WWE run? It was that 2-on-1 match she had with Brad Maddox and fucking Xavier Woods.
Jesus Christ.
It was a backpage assault.
A backpage assault. Yeah. One came through the front, one came through the back. They got it together.
Oh, and apparently it was a very cold day. when that match was taking place.
Oh my God. God help me. God help us all.
You opened this door the moment you put her on the list. I swear to God.
Hey, I was trying to keep it professional.
Not on this show.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Look, you think I'm bad? Imagine what Thump would be doing right now. That motherfucker be tearing you a fucking new one. He probably had the damn Pornhub account pulled up and fucking going through shit.
None of that takes away from the fact that she's an outstanding athlete that came around at the perfect time and changed what a female wrestler looked like forever.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. And if you think about it, it didn't even hinder her when all that shit came out. It actually fucking helped her.
Well, yeah, she was like the first, the first WWE OnlyFans girl.
Moving on.
Actually, I think Caitlyn was, and God bless her.
Oh my God, dude.
Dude, come on now.
She ages like a fine wine. I have her on Instagram and like,
Yeah, those faux leaks of her. Good Lord.
Jesus Christ. Actually, I think Caitlyn might have an OnlyFans. I'll have to look. Once we get on the top 5 list, I'll pull up Instagram and just check.
All right. All right. So, number 4, what you got?
My number 4 is one of those ties where I couldn't just put one without putting the other. Becky Lynch, Mercedes Moné / Sasha Banks / Bayley / Charlotte.
Damn, you got the 4 horsewomen in one, you cheating fuck.
It kind of had to, though, because they all came at the same time and they all revolutionized the next level of the business at the same time, not only with each other, but with their opponents.
Yeah.
Think about that night Stephanie McMahon fucking announced after Charlotte was already on fucking TV. Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Becky Lynch. And they all 3 had their own little trio thing. And for the next 12 months, not only did they push that division to another fucking level, they had their own fucking women's-based pay-per-view. WWE Evolution. Something that's never been done before nor since because of them 4 putting in the fucking work. Every one of them, former tag team champion of WWE, former women's champion of NXT, former women's champion of Raw and SmackDown. I mean, all 4 of them have, quote unquote, as far as women's wrestling is concerned, Hall of Fame careers. And most of them are my age or less. I think Charlotte's like maybe 2 or 3 years older than me. That's it. Everyone else is like right around my age.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they're amazing. All of them are amazing.
But if I had to choose one, I would definitely choose Bayley.
Yeah.
Because
I know
we know.
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah.
Goddamn. But that's my number 4.
All right.
Again, I just couldn't pick one without having to put the other ones there because they worked off each other so fucking well.
All right. So my number 4. My number 4 came around right in the middle of the diva of the well, no, it wasn't the Divas era yet. It was the Attitude Era women when they're all panting like dogs and wearing bra and panties matches and doing all that shit. She brought.
How do you wear a match?
Huh?
How do you wear a match?
I don't know. Shut up. They're on bra and panties matches and wrestling in the mud and being treated like animals. This girl came along. She looked badass. She could wrestle, and she had the best finisher in all of female professional wrestling. I'm talking about Victoria. Without question, if she's not in the Hall of Fame this year, we riot. All right? It is a crime that Victoria is not in the WWE Hall of Fame. Her and Umaga no one should go in before Bray, her, and Umaga. Those should be the first 3 this year.
Okay. Let me ask you this, because I know Victoria's career quite well, not only her WWE but her TNA run when she was known as Tara. Other than her look and her style of wrestling and the 3 women's championship runs that she had, what really qualifies her to be on your list? Like, I'm generally intrigued on this because she wasn't even in like the top 10 for me, and I am a mark for her.
Well, obviously she's gotten the accolades, she's won the titles, whatever. She was that. I mean, back with when Trish and those girls were running around, she felt more legit. She felt like she was a real wrestler. She was a powerhouse for her size. She had a great move set. I mean, I'm not putting up there as high as Trish and Lita would be, but I think she's right the next rung down after Trish and Lita.
Okay. I was just intrigued on how you saw that. Unfortunately, she's not on my top 5. Actually, she's not even on my top 10 when I made this list.
Oh, that's cool.
And I had like 10 people just trying to figure out where I'm gonna put people. So we're at number 3, correct?
Number 3.
Okay, so my number 3 is in the same era as you.
Okay.
But it's not what she did in WWE, it's what she did after WWE and how she helped revolutionize not only a division, but a company. My number 3 is Gail Kim.
Okay.
Now, mind you, her WWE debut back in 2003, 2004, she won the Women's Championship in a Battle Royal gimmick bullshit thing out of fucking necessity. So, automatically she's got high hopes and shit. But her style never fit with the quote-unquote divas of that era.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Victoria, as far as like a rivalry, was like the closest thing you're going to get to a good rivalry with her.
Right.
But she worked, and I've heard a lot of people say it's an insult, but it's really not. This is actually like one of the highest compliments you can give a woman. She worked like a dude. So when she ended her contract in WWE and went to this little company down south called TNA, she helped the girls like Angelina Love, Velvet Sky, Awesome Kong, ODB make a division, something that WWE wished they had at that time, a women's division that they were fucking proud of. And because of those women, they actually helped put TNA on the map for network television, for Spike TV, for FSN, and actually was able to get them to the next level, an actual company. Something I dare say not even the 4 horsewomen could fucking do. Now, granted, different time, different ages, but you go back and you see her career in TNA alone, multiple time knockouts champion, multiple time knockouts tag team champion. She became the locker room leader for not only the women, but the fucking men. She now holds backstage roles. Like, she is what I don't want to sound like I'm a fucking mark because I'm not really the biggest fan of hers, but the fact that she's put an entire company on the fucking map from 2006 on.
Hey man, I'm not mad at you for that pick. I kind of wish I had thought of her, but she didn't even come to mind. But as far as her work rate and her move set, I mean, she's amazing. No doubt.
if you need to go back and watch one match with her, go find the first confrontation between her and Awesome Kong, that David versus Goliath, where she's constantly trying to work from under fucking Kong, and you figure something like that wouldn't fucking work with them, but they make fucking match. Like, that is one match. If you're like a good women's wrestling fan, go find that match, watch that match, and enjoy it. Watch the storytelling that they do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the bitch love to jump off fucking cages. Let me be fucking for real about that shit. The diving cross bodies, the fucking shotgun drop kicks.
Dude.
That one time fucking Hernandez from LAX fucking border tossed her like all the way across the fucking arena. Like she worked like a fucking man and was not afraid to fucking get dirty.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so my number three. My number three was the first of her kind in the sense that a woman can be built like this, compete like this. My number three is China. China paved the way for women like Beth Phoenix, like Zoe Stark, like Rhea Ripley, like Jordan Grace. The woman who even though she had, whatever, she made it acceptable that a woman could potentially wrestle a man. It was believable with her.
Yes.
And but she also completely decimated what you would envision at the time of being a female wrestler. She was jacked. Obviously, she was juiced, but she made it. I don't want to say sexy, but there were guys who thought she was sexy, but she made the muscular look something that could be sexy. And I thought women that followed her, like I thought Beth Phoenix was sexy as hell. We obviously know about Rhea Ripley, Jordan Grace. So she was like the one who made that acceptable. And I don't think we would have had, big jacked girls in wrestling if China hadn't come along.
I cannot disagree with anything you just said. Partly because she's my number 2 on my list. And you're right. But the thing that got me is she did all this for her career in a 3.5-year time span.
Yep.
From late 97 to early 2000. She did all this. She broke all these fucking barriers for women and men, if you think about it. Like before then, you really didn't see intergender matches. You didn't see a woman valet look like that. Like, remember when she first came in, like, we all thought she was a man. Let's not fucking lie to ourselves, right? But it's really when she got off the juice and she really started taking her in-ring work seriously that you saw a star there.
Yep.
And then she worked guys like Chris Jericho. She worked guys like Jeff Jarrett, guys that could teach her as they work. And she learned every fucking time. And that's not saying that she didn't work with the women well. She did. But to me, she always worked better with the men than she did the women. It always was more believable to me that, when she was working a tag team match and it was 3 other dudes involved, that I would believe that she's doing that more on a regular basis than she would just be, fighting Sonny,
right,
beating up Ivory, fucking up Jacqueline.
Right.
I mean,
yeah,
there really wasn't that many women to, compete with back in, 98, 99 because they were all either valets or they were all fucking Barbie dolls and it was not believable for them to beat her. So you kind of had to fucking,
and they made her win and her reign as an Intercontinental Champion believable. She, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, she worked it with fucking Eddie well. She worked with Jericho well. She worked with Jarrett well. Like, even, before the whole breakup with Triple H and shit, and that kind of part of her, like, she worked well with that.
Yeah.
But again, she's my number 2. I mean, I can't dispute anything you just said.
Yeah. So before we go on, I heard Draven mention something about our merch while I was dealing with those technical difficulties.
The merch
is beautiful. Hold on a second.
OG TFK. This is actually
all right. So if you go to either in the description or in the panels that surround some of your video streaming services. You can check out the link to our merch. Got obviously you guys know the Forbidden Kingdom is our faction, our wrestling faction, but you got all the good old heel shit podcast merch. We got let's see, new hats. So yeah, thumb through all this stuff. Check it out. We got Thumpism shirt. Silence is golden. Duct tape is silver. Good stuff. We got the Dravenisms. Dicketry is real.
It is real.
It's all good shit. We've got talking shit. Sometimes it hurts. T-shirt.
Oh my God! Yes.
Such good shit.
Fun fact about that shirt: we were all constipated at one time or another to take those pictures.
Yeah, you goddamn right.
God damn.
We live this shit. We live the gimmick, dog. We live the gimmick.
But I will say the latest shirt you put out on the TFK side, the check shirt, is amazing, phenomenal.
Yeah, here, let's take a look at that too.
Take a look at it.
Check shirt. Yep. This is the new Forbidden Kingdom check shirt. So we collect souls, we make bankrolls, and we pay the toll. That's your boys right there.
And like I said before, all these shirts are basically at cost for us to get made, so we're really not making any profit off of it. Right. So definitely take advantage of this before the shit gets popular, and then we're forced to actually raise the prices on it.
Right. All right, so I think we're up to my number 2.
Number 2. Oh yeah, real quick.
Yep.
I got TFK tattoos now. So yeah, get on this shit, guys. I went and got some ink for Christmas.
Yes, sir. Let's see. My number 2 is the one that is multiple people.
Okay.
These ladies defined women's wrestling in the Attitude Era. I happen to like one more than the other, which is,
not surprising.
Not surprising, but I don't think you can put one here without putting the other. I'm talking, of course, of Lita and Trish. First women to headline a episode of Raw.
Yep.
Trish obviously has more accolades, but I like Lita as a character better. I thought her athleticism and her skill set were more impressive.
Yes.
But it is what it is. I don't think one of them would have been great as they were each together. Like the sum is greater than the whole is greater than the sum of the parts.
Yes, and it's really hard to argue that, especially in a time where let's say 2001 to 2003, when they were like really fucking red hot, right? Lita and Trish was the women's version of that company to what Rock and Austin was. You didn't see one without the other at some point, shape, or fashion. Right. Now they diverged and had their own shit going. Obviously, Lita with the Hardy Boys, Trish fucking the boss. But they always came back together and always made magic. Let's not forget that quote unquote Trish's retirement match was against Lita at Survivor Series 1 year. And then 1 year later, Lita was like, I can do that too. And I'll fucking retire as the champion and like get fucked over by Trish. So like they always intertwine.
Yeah.
Even as recently as this year, if you go back and watch, what was it like? What was WrestleMania? They did the 6-woman tag. It was Trish, Lita, and somebody else versus 3 other people.
Yeah.
And then, like right after that, Trish actually turned on Lita and caused Lita the storyline get injured.
Yeah. Yep.
So, like they're always going to be together in some shape, form, or fashion. I can't be angry about that pick.
No.
But they're not on my list.
Okay. Number 1, sir.
You ready for this? Be shocked and amazed when I say this.
Okay.
The Godfather's hose.
You too?
Dude, you know how many hoes that motherfucker has and had?
You got all them hoes.
Everyone.
All them hoes.
Oh, because I jumped on the hoe train. Yeah, I'll be getting glad. Ain't gonna lie. Just a yeah. I'm on my bullshit a little tonight in case you haven't seen.
I dig it. I dig it.
My number one. It's really tough for me because as we're sitting here and we're talking, and you brought up Trish and Lita, somebody else came to mind that I feel deserves my number one spot because what the barrier she has broke now. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you what the number one was on my list, but I'm going to change it to who I believe is a true number one. My number one originally was the tie between Moolah and Mae Young for obvious fucking reasons. But if we're talking now, my number one would have to be Mickie James.
Okay.
From her WWE run where she started main event with Trish and Lita, all the way to now, former women's champion, former Divas champion, former TNA Knockouts champion, former NWA women's champion. She's broken barriers nobody else has been able to fucking do in 60 fucking years. Name me one other person, male or female, that the WWE has ever acknowledged, not only another company, but another company's champion on a major fucking pay-per-view that is congruent to them now. Not saying like ECW champion or WCW champion. I'm talking about a company still fucking running. Not only is allowed to come out being acknowledged as that brand, but being acknowledged as that brand's champion with their music, with their entrance, everything. Nobody else in history has been able to fucking do that. She has broken down barriers nobody else has ever been able to fucking do. And she continues to do so while also being signed with Impact / TNA. She is now the fucking producer of fucking TNA Women's Wrestling. So anything that goes with women's wrestling there has to go by her first. And you see the people that she works with. Trinity Fatu, Jordan Grace, Deonna Purrazzo, Kiera Hogan whenever she decides to show up, Jessica Havoc whenever she's not on injury, Rosemary. She has the abundance of talent that TNA has always had in the women's division, and she's able to mold that into the next generation. So, like I said, she wasn't even like there in my top 10. But when you start talking about Trish and Lita, I can't, really think about them without thinking about how Mickie James came in. And then from there, like, it just spiraled.
Yeah. And before my list didn't really change. I had Trish and Lita in two different spots, but I was like, they wouldn't have been as great if they weren't with each other. So I put those together.
Correct.
So my new number one is she was further down your list, is Alundra Blaze. She made, especially in this country, made wrestling an extremely important part of women's wrestling. She was an American wrestler that could go to Japan and work. She could go to Mexico and work. She could go anywhere, hang and still shine. And being an American woman going and wrestling in Japan is a whole different fucking thing because they're fucking monsters over there. All right. She, like you said, she did the unthinkable, changing the WCW and holding on to the belt and throwing it in the trash. But she had that was towards the end of things. She had such a good long career. And although she was beautiful, her career is predicated on her in-ring ability, which up to that point, I don't think anyone compared.
And she still dropped dead gorgeous. She's in her 50s, early 60s.
Driving monster trucks.
Dude, can you say the word gilf?
Yeah.
I fucking can.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I can't disagree with anything you said. I didn't even think about the aspect of her going to Japan and working. That would have probably put her to about number 4, and like just move the 4 horsewomen up. But come on, your number 4 being the 4 horsewomen, it just made sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that's good. Do you have any now that we're talking about it, any that you want to have honorable mentioned, or maybe should have been in your top 5 but did not?
I'll give you an honorable mention, but I kind of mentioned her when I talked about Gil Kim, Awesome Kong, because she is not your stereotypical woman.
True.
Like she's a big woman. Like I'm talking big. Like I stood next to her, and it's like standing next to you, big woman. Like the only thing missing is like size E titties on you. That's it, and some dreads. But she's the nicest person I have ever fucking met. I know I say that about a lot of big time talent, but she really is. Like she's just a kind soul. She's like the polar opposite of what she portrays on TV, especially if she's working heel. And you gotta think, if it weren't for people like that, you wouldn't have people like Piper Niven.
Yep.
With that style of body. Even when Jordan Grace was like chunky, and I'm talking chunky.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Chunky.
But she
sorry, our sexism is showing.
Oh shit! Let me cover my nipples up. Fuck, I'm sorry. But she broke that barrier of you don't have to be a skinny twig or a muscular bitch. You can be a nice chubby little girl and fucking work your ass off. I mean, you see it all over the independent scenes here in Florida now. Like a lot of these girls you wouldn't see working 10 years ago. And her in-ring work was fucking amazing for her size. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it was more on the basic side, but it was the impact that she fucking was able to do it. It was the explosiveness that she was able to give off on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the boomstick spinning back fist that she do. She can make it look like she knocked your fucking jaw in the 3rd row and never fucking touch you.
Yeah.
And let's not even get started on the implant buster, which I was like, I would have used that for a finish. And until I tried to do it for a finish, like, I can't do it for a finish. Fuck that. Dude, say what you will. A double underhook lifting face buster is a lot harder to do than you think it is.
Like a pedigree?
Yeah, like you pick them up, but it's the fact that how she does it. Like she'll get them there and like pick them up further and fucking throw them. Like,
yeah.
I was like, I'll leave that on WWE 13. Fuck that shit. Speaking of which, on 13, next week, we're going to tell them next week. Next week's episode actually is one really close to near and dear to our hearts. It's going to be our top 5 wrestling video games.
Mm-hmm.
And as an added bonus, we're going to sit down. We're going to talk about what's on our wrestling bucket list. Which, mind you, only got a couple years left, so we're going to start knocking some shit off this bucket list.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But is there anybody for your honorable mentions, or anybody that just like?
Yeah, I'm kicking myself for the Gail Kim one. But really, I mean, the obvious. Well, a reasonable just number 1 for everybody's list should have been the Fabulous Moolah.
Like I said, it was, but
yeah, it wasn't even in my. She wasn't even in my top 5, but it's not because I didn't heavily weigh her. I was like, this is way too obvious, and obviously that 20-year title reign is a little suspicious.
Well, I mean, just go back and watch Dark Side of the Ring episode that they did on her. Like that pretty much explained everything.
Yeah.
But her history is still undeniable.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Unlike Chris Benoit, you can't erase the Great Moolah.
Oh no, and like I said, she was still heavily. She was gonna be my number 1. I was like, that's fucking obvious. Like her and Charlotte would have been obvious. And we don't like to have the exact same fucking top 5. Huh?
I hate the Lizard Queen, though.
I know, me too, but
The only reason she's only on the fucking list is because of the other three.
14-time champion. I don't know why they picked her out of all four of them. Like,
I do. Her last name's Flair.
oh well, that yeah.
I mean, you watch, but before it's all said and done, she will be a 16-time women's champion.
Oh, I'm sure. I don't know what happened to her though. She's out for like 10 months.
I saw the clip. It was on it was her last.
Oh yeah. She hung herself on the top rope with her leg or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tore some ligaments and shit. So yeah, she's gonna be out for a good long bit.
Wow.
But can we get off topic? And I don't usually praise AEW on a lot of shit, but I'm gonna praise them for this.
Okay.
And it has to do with the Flares. The fact that they acknowledge the other 5 NWA championships and actually give an accurate number to be a 21-time world heavyweight champion. Hats off to you, TK. You don't do a lot of shit right, but that's one thing you did do right.
Absolutely. 21. Now, has there ever been an explanation as to why WWE doesn't count those other 5?
As far as I know, it has to do with the fact that Vince Jr. just hated the NWA. That's about as far as I know it is.
So I wonder why they counted any of them.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because of the WCW heritage of it. Like they only went so far back when it was NWA, WCW kind of thing.
Right.
But it was just his first 5 title reigns as NWA champion. They do not recognize, and it's a fucking shame, considering he actually turned in the NWA Heavyweight Championship for the fucking Hall of Fame ceremony that year.
Wow.
Yeah, he's no longer in possession of the NWA Dome Globe that he took fucking hostage.
Where is it? In WWE Hall of Fame?
It's in the warehouse.
Yeah.
More than likely, it's over in Saudi Arabia, and that new WWE exhibit thing they got going on.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Dude, have you seen the pictures of it? It's actually quite immaculate. It's just a fucking shame it's halfway across the fucking world. It would be something I would love to go see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they got like Taker's old like Attitude Era tires, Kane's mask stuff, Mick Foley's old Mankind attires, all kinds of historic shit.
It's crazy.
Well then, anything else on the agenda for tonight?
No, not really. No.
You want to bring up? We want to talk about Liv real quick. That's kind of free. Liv Morgan.
Oh yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
We need to make weed. So news broke. Was it Friday morning or yesterday morning? Yesterday morning. That Liv Morgan was arrested in Central Florida on a possession charge of marijuana. But sorry, I'm getting off my bullshit. I'm sorry. But there's been some reports that she was actually just taking the blame for somebody else. It really wasn't her weed.
Huh. Why the fuck would she do
that? If you think about it, if you're rich and famous, you can get off easier on shit than somebody that's probably like got possession charges.
Have you heard what they're gonna do, or?
Well, apparently she bailed out immediately after getting booked in.
Right.
Of course, a possession charge with less than I think it was like 3 grams.
Yeah. What
she was charged with. So I mean, her bail wasn't that expensive. Obviously, she can afford to get out of it. From what I've heard, her first court appearance is sometime this week. More than likely, just some probation or some shit like that. Slap on the wrist because it's fucking Florida. Everybody has fucking these days.
Does the Fed have a problem with it?
From what I read one report right before I got on here with you, and apparently it is not swaying any return talks. Like nothing's been put off, nothing's been taken off the table, everything's still going, and everybody's still, good with Liv.
Yeah.
And like I just said, it's fucking Florida. Everyone has weed.
Mrs. Cordz was saying, and she made a good point, that if you live in Florida and you're gonna have weed, there's no excuse not to have a card. There's no excuse.
True, but the thing with WWE is though, I know they've lightened up on the fucking drug policy and shit, but I don't know their policy on having a weed card.
Right.
So they may have something against having a weed card.
I guess they could.
But if that's the case, and the weed card was good, Riddle should have been fucking fine, like just fucking dandy. And he got hit with suspensions for testing positive. So I guess not.
Yeah.
We'll keep y'all updated on this. If anything comes up further, we'll definitely touch on it by W this week.
Yeah, for sure.
But as of right now, nothing's been taken off the table about her return. Everybody's still in good spirits with her. The report of her taking the blame for somebody else's, I only saw from ringside. I didn't see anybody else report it, so I'm taking that with a grain of salt right now.
Right.
Until I see some further proof.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
So what you doing for the holidays, bud? What'd you buy me?
Top 1% podcast.
Fuck yeah. We're the FTR of the podcast world.
Top guys out.
Oh
my god.
That's good shit. I'm joking. Dax, Cash, we love you guys. We would never try to do what you guys do. Y'all do it to a level we can never fucking do. Especially after Final Battle, watching y'all beat the fuck out of each other for 30 minutes straight. God damn. That was a brutal ass fucking match.
They had a... What was that? Was that Friday night?
Yes. Yeah, Final Battle was Friday night.
Wasn't it? They were against the House of Black, right?
No, Blackpool.
Oh, that's right. Club. That's right.
It was FTR and Mark Briscoe versus Moxley, Wheeler, and Cesaro, or Claudio, whatever the fuck you want to call him.
Okay.
The Swiss Bald Man.
Swiss Bald Man. Yes. Yes, the Swiss Bald Man.
And they beat the shit out of each other for 30 fucking minutes straight.
Yeah. They can all bang, man. Those are old school guys. Those are fucking bangers.
I know. It's just fucking weird watching that match and realizing this time a year ago that was Jay's last match. So it was kind of emotional, at least for me. And for those of you that don't know, I've always been a huge Jay Briscoe fan.
Yes.
Huge. One of the guys I wish I was able to sit down with and just fucking have a drink with and fucking talk shit with for an hour. Even, just to shake his hand and say thank you for giving me the opportunity to fucking speak with you and, let me learn from you. It's just one of those I'll never be able to do.
Yeah.
Like I thought I took Jay's bad. The only person I've taken worse as far as a death has been fucking Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
I didn't take Eddie's death that bad. I didn't take Chris's death that bad.
Yeah. No, it was rough. It was rough.
It was a tough time.
But all right. Well, on that, you can catch us back here again Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for the Weekend Wrestling.
Weekend Wrestling.
WIW, baby. We'll bring you the biggest stories in the previous week of wrestling.
Make sure y'all come back here Thursday night for our live talking shit episode when we have the one, the only, the man himself, Thump Decree.
The Thump Father.
The Godfather of the Kingdom.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. Well, for Draven Grimes, I'm Dark Cordz. This has been Heel Shit. Why do we call it that? Because bad guys do heel shit. Peace.